Welcome back. It's my favorite time of all, Indiana, because it's the time that you and I get to do some cooking together. So today's recipe is for those of you that perhaps have adopted the keto lifestyle for the new year. These are keto cupcakes, and let me tell you, they're delicious. Even if you're not doing keto, I think you're really going to love them. So let me walk you through the recipe. All right. We're going to start with 3 eggs. So just crack them right into a bowl. So to make these keto cupcakes right, you don't need a mixer, which I love. I hate getting out things that aren't really a necessity. So you're going to put the eggs in a bowl, but you are going to just blend these eggs with a fork for about a minute. And you're going to whip up the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients separate, combine the two, and it's that easy. So we get 3 eggs in there. Now, when we're doing keto, we're not doing any grains at all. So there is no wheat, so we're not going to use regular flour. And it is okay to use elements that are maybe a little bit more fatty. So whole sour cream goes in here, and it's going to add a whole lot of moisture and delicious goodness. And then we're also going to add in our vanilla. I always use pure vanilla extract, not the imitation stuff, if you can get your hands on it. And then to this, a keto sweetener. Now, some of you know about these things. For some of you, it'll be new. The one that I'm using is a Keto Sweet brand made from erythritol. So you could use allulose, you could use monk fruit. There's all different kinds of sweeteners you're going to see on the shelves. I happen to make this recipe for Keto Sweet, and I think it's absolutely delicious. Okay, so you've got the wet ingredients right there. Now for the dry. So let's just do a little switcheroo. Now, I said we're not going to use any white flour or even wheat flour. Instead, and this is really all I bake with, even when I'm not making keto recipes, almond flour. I usually use a mix of just almond flour. Maybe it's almond flour and coconut flour. And you know what? My whole family loves it. They can't tell the difference. Then 6 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And then in here, I have baking powder as well as a product called xanthan gum. Now, if you're a keto lover, you already know what xanthan gum is. It's a thickener. It's actually in a lot of the foods we eat. And it just adds kind of like a chewiness to recipes, because you're not going to get that from the almond flour. For those of you that are wondering, almond flour is just blanched almonds with the skins removed, and then it's ground into a powder. That's all it is. So it's going to be high in protein. It's not going to have any gluten. So when you use almond flour, a lot of times you walk away from eating something like this feeling pretty energized, because we all need our protein. And I've also got the full nutrition facts for you. Okay, so now we add the dry to the wet, and we're going to mix that together. Let's get it all in there. You've got your oven set to 350 degrees. You have your cupcake muffin tin ready to go. So you mix this together. And then I found that when I was creating this recipe, it needed just a little bit more moisture. So a tablespoon of coconut oil. And here's a secret: you can use whatever oil you have on hand. So if it's olive, go right ahead. That chocolate masks anything. And this is such a rich, delicious, but no sugar added recipe. So in other words, for those of you that are wondering, it's not going to play with your blood sugar. A lot of times we get exhausted in the afternoon because maybe we've had some kind of a snack with extra carbohydrate, or our lunch has had a lot of carbohydrate, and then come after that at like 2 or 3 or 4 p.m. we start feeling really tired. Well, if you eat a good protein snack, you're going to keep that from happening. So you can use those cupcakes as that. All right, so I've got my cupcake pan prepped. You can see it right here. So then you're just going to divide this among the 12 muffin tins or cupcake tins. And then you're going to pop it in the oven at 350 for, I think, about 20 minutes is all you need. When it comes out, they look like this. Okay, now here's what I like to do. You see these that I have frosted, and I do have a keto frosting recipe in case you're wondering, and I like to top them just like we had at Disney World on a trip a couple years ago, with some chocolate chips. Now these are keto chocolate chips. They're a brand called Lily's, and they're sweetened with stevia. And again, my family can't tell, and we've got some pretty picky eaters. So I have to say that this one literally takes the cake for us. It is a great recipe if you are in need of something keto that also fits the chocolate bill. Let me just open that up so you can see the inside in case you're wondering, does this even look like a cupcake? It is delicious. And I think it has Marcus Bailey's name written all over it. I better deliver one to him, but first I'm going to send it over to Mackenzie.